Many Floridians consider Florida a home that they'd never want to leave, but others either didn't anticipate what living in Florida would be like or disliked aspects of their experience, so these folks sometimes choose to move away. Here are some of the reasons that Floridians have given for moving to other states. In their own words, increased traffic and overcrowding. Paradise is rotten. People who have lived in Florida for a long time may remember a state that looked and functioned quite differently than it does today. Victor Zabriskie had lived in Boca Raton for 20 years when he began to feel that it had become overcrowded, and that his experience had turned from positive to negative, because he could no longer enjoy non-crowded beaches and the city's peaceful vibe. He now calls Boca Manhattan South, because he feels that it is too crowded, he told Business Insider. The essential factor down here in Boca Raton is overcrowding. When I first moved here, it was a small, little beach town. You could walk to the beach. There wasn't a lot of traffic. There wasn't a lot of pollution. Paradise is rotten. Zabriskie is planning to leave Florida and move to Portugal. Homeowners insurance and rising costs have made Florida too expensive for some retirees. Overcrowding and pollution are examples of changes to Florida that some do not like. Florida's rising insurance costs are one more example. And homeowners insurance is a rising expense that is stretching the wallets of many Floridians, especially retirees and senior citizens on a fixed budget. And some of those seniors have decided that their homeowners' premiums are too much to fit into their monthly budget, so they are moving somewhere else in search of lower monthly expenditures. Charles Frankel is 86 and has lived in Florida for much of his life. However, his current homeowner's premium of $2,000 and flood insurance for $2,000 are more than his budget can handle, even with a roommate. He told WFLA, "We try to resource our money together. And I mean it doesn't end, although he'd love to stay in Florida." Mr. Frankel is moving to North Carolina, where he believes that he can live more cheaply. Florida's low wages aren't workable for some. According to ZipRecruiter, the average income in Florida is around $48,377. That's a good deal lower than the national average of $58,553. As the cost of living in Florida rises, some have decided that they can no longer comfortably make it financially in the Sunshine State. Nicole Payne was a lifelong Floridian, but ultimately decided that Tennessee allowed her a better quality of life since the money she was making in Florida did not line up with her living expenses. She explained, "There's just no way for people living here to afford it. The salaries that they pay here don't add up to the cost of rent. The heat and humidity are deal breakers for some." Greg May began living in Florida in 2014, but recently he began applying to jobs that would take him out of the Florida heat, and he ultimately settled on North Carolina. He felt that he always felt that he was stuck indoors to escape the heat. Explaining to Business Insider, "My mental health started declining from being stuck indoors almost 10 months out of the year, not feeling welcome in Florida for welcoming differences." Some Floridians have expressed interest in moving because they perceive that Florida no longer welcomes a diverse population. Former GOP Representative David Jolly has said he's considering leaving the Sunshine State because it is unwelcoming to some people who embrace diversity, telling MSNBC, "Why would I want to raise my kids in an environment in which they're shamed for embracing diversity of thought and diverse cultures?" Differing perspectives. Everyone has different opinions, and there are many people who enjoy living in Florida and have no intention of moving. Jacqueline Budnar is a Michigan native, but wrote in Volusia County Moms how much she loves living in Florida, explaining that sunshine, 1,800 miles of coastline, professional sports teams nearby, standing in the driveway to watch rockets launch, driving an hour to a port to catch a cruise, loads of wildflowers, natural springs, and frequent gorgeous sunsets seen from our back porch are things she loves about Florida.